Introducing our 03 International 4300 Dt466 extended cab rollback single owner truck. Before you click off, you're going to want to watch the rest of this one, whether you care about buying a tow truck or not, because it's a cool story. And we happen to be up here at the cable place, getting a fresh cable put on the rollback, and it was the original cable, and it needed to be replaced. 4,000 miles on this truck. 4,000 miles. We put more than 4,000 miles sometimes in a month on a vehicle, much less 4,000 on this vehicle that's 22 years old. And it's getting ready to leave here and go to service and inspection, but my Uncle David has already been over it doing his touches. And I want to go around the truck just to show you guys how to validate something that's this age, because obviously we deal with classics, we deal with other things, and people say original, factory, miles, blah, 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 blah. There's ways that you can actually validate things, and you don't even have to do it. You can just do it low key while you're checking the vehicle out. Ask questions. That's what it's all about. So part of this video is about this cool rollback that is for sale, but the other part is about how to validate something if you have questions about whether it's proper or not. So 2003. Now, first off, when we reconditioned it, we could have repainted this bumper, but we had one of these trucks, and after 2 years of owning it, the bumper did the same thing. So we didn't want to put lipstick on a pig. It wasn't no need cleaning it up. We can spray paint that bumper tomorrow. That's how the bumper should look. It's got a couple scratches. That's original. Now, we did replace the headlights. Safety. It's kind of like looking through cataracts. I don't have cataracts, but I guess that's what it would be like. These were so old and fogged over, you couldn't see really good. So this is much brighter light, all new bulbs, much safer for driving. Now, the next thing that we are going to strongly suggest we replace as part of the deal, it's already figured into the deal, the cost is there. Whether we put them on or we give them to you, this truck should get new tires. These tires are date coded the 43rd week of 02, which would have made these tires be put on it in 02 for an 03 production truck. All 6 are still original like that. Now, how can you validate something? Look at the tread on this tire. Look how thick it is. The tire is still basically like new. It doesn't zoom good when you do that, but you can see the backs as well. They still have the right amount of tread to have 4,000 miles. These are not even weather checked or dry rotted because of the fact this unit stayed in a carport. Now, we have an extra way to validate this truck that most people wouldn't, because it lived directly across the street in the building that we now own, that is showroom number 3, its whole life. We could look across every morning and this truck was sitting there. Unless the owner of that construction company took it out for hauling his tow truck, he had antique tractors. This would move an antique tractor to the paint shop and back. Every now and then it would move, say, like one of his backhoes or something to a job site, but it was all local and it did not move very often. We put new batteries in it, changed the fuel filter, changing the oil, doing a safety inspection. It does need a couple bulbs, but it's an equipment style bid. I don't know the weight rating on this, so, but we'll get it, you know, hopefully before this airs or before it goes online. But you can see the frame is not rusty. The secondary frame, the actual truck frame, not rusty. We did clean and paint it so it's protected because it was raw, but you can see it's not pitted, it's not been sanded. That literally has black spray paint put on it. No undercoat, nothing else. All the welds are good, all the way the thing's assembled is good. It's not been all beat up and broken. The cable, being original, had age to it. It needed to be replaced. It had a couple pinch spots, it had a couple pieces that were fraying. So for safety, we want to do that. Heck, I'll save the cable if somebody wants to have the original cable, but this is not a 1957 Chevy Bel Air. Having the factory stuff doesn't really make any difference in the value. Tires, yes, you should replace tires. There is a rule of thumb that people say 10 years, some say 15, some say 20. While we take it to the inspection station, I'm going to bring that question up for Virginia, because some people say, you know, won't pass inspection, things like that. I don't know that Virginia has a safety date regulation. Now, if they are too dry rotted, that becomes a problem. And again, a lot of that's left up to the dictation of the inspector. We have Toyo tires and Nitto tires, the big aggressive mud tires, that if you look in the tread areas, heck, after a couple years, they've already started to get some dry cracks to them due to Armor All, due to tire shine. I don't know, but it's not failing, it's not exploding, but is it a safety concern? That becomes part of the inspector's dictation there. We don't inspect our trucks, we send them out. If the guy that's inspecting it tells me it needs something, we're doing it. That's just part of it. It'll also get a new filter on the hydraulic for the bed, which surprisingly that has been replaced. A lot of times they're never been replaced on these older trucks. So for mileage, it's not even due yet, but for time, it's definitely due. So it'll be getting that filter as well. All the brakes will be checked, all the things that normally would need to be checked anyway, because this truck would normally have 300,000 miles, would probably be average for this truck. Ramsey winch, and it's a big Ramsey winch. Wood decking on here. Why wood? Well, because of the fact if you're pulling something up on here with tracks, steel tracks, something like that, this gives more traction and less wear and tear. You can always replace the boards if need be, but these are the original boards and they've held up pretty good. They weren't just some Home Depot Lowe's boards, I can assure you. Those are some good custom cut boards because they've actually held up good. If they came from there, they'd be twisted and knotted and everywhere else, but cool truck. Just put some fresh mud flaps on it. One of those was messed up. It does have the wheel lift ball mount for picking up a trailer. So if you use this and say, let's just say you had your Bobcat and you wanted to carry a dump trailer with some mulch to a job site to spread or some gravel, this truck could do both. It could carry on the bed and it can also carry the trailer behind it. And depending on your weights and your regulations and all that, you might put 2 skid steers on here, trailer, skid steer, trailer with skid steer, combined weight, and the GVWRs and all that would dictate that part of things. So you'd have to look into all that. I can't give you legal advice there. Every state also has some little differences. All we can speak to is the things we know and the things we've seen. So inside, clean as it should be. Actually, very, very clean. Back seat still has the plastic on it. Back seat has all the owner's manuals and documents laying in it. What else? Anything else you can think of, AJ? The 466 is obviously pre-emissions, and that was one thing we were talking about in there. We just did a little quick video, so if you didn't see that, Torrance Rope and Sling, they're local to us. Cable and straps and chains and anything you could imagine, weights, they have it. But the owner himself said, you know, nothing is made like it used to be. This is the perfect example. This will run circles around a new emissions type vehicle. We were talking about his equipment in there. He's got equipment in there from the 50s that has outlasted all of the newer equipment, and it's still going as long as you maintain it. Same way here. Grease the bed, change the oil. You've got a pre-emissions truck. It does not require DEF. It does not require DPF. This truck is going to keep on running forever. You might replace an O-ring. You might replace a hose. Those things are going to deteriorate because they're rubber. But other than that, you're not going to have issues. I also asked my detail guy not to paint the fuel tank. You can still see the original fuel tank sticker, 01 of 03. Most of the time that's long since gone. Most of the time the tank is all beat up. A lot of people get, you know, they kick this every time they get up, every time. Imagine getting in and out of this thing and kicking it so many times. It's going to knock all the paint off. Then it's going to rust and look bad. These clamps are always screwed up. The clamps are in good shape. The pinch weld here, normally the sign of where rust starts. There's obviously no rust. This truck actually stayed under that carport for, 99% of its life in the same spot, backed into the same. It had grooves where it backed in and out on the dirt. We won't edit this video, we'll do a whole nother one, but we have pictures, AJ, from when we first went over there where it still had all the equipment under there. This truck was still sitting under there. Then they moved it to their farm, moved around some farm equipment, which also reminds me we still got to go pick up that bat wing from that farm, the mower, and we got to get the forklift. So these were the last pieces of this particular business and farm to be sold. And there it is, guys. 4,000 miles. We are going to send it to our big rig shop, which we mentioned in a lot of videos. That's Bermuda Truck Repair. They're going to do a computer scan with their computer to actually validate also. I think it even shows the RPMs and the miles per hour. It's a really detailed report. They'll go print that report, so we'll have it with the vehicle also to help validate that. Really cool piece. Somebody's looking for a truck for around the yard or for around their business like this, moving forklifts, There's so many different things you could do with it. It's a little big for using for car recovery, but you know, if that's what you want to do, you could. But just a good all-around truck, and it will be ready within the next few days for our finishing touches. We're glad we'll be able to catch this video real quick while we had a few minutes waiting on them. Thanks guys for all the support. Thanks for always, and if this one doesn't suit your fancy, watch the website. We got 40 or 50 other tow trucks and 350 other regular trucks, cars, SUVs, lifted, stock, diesel, gas, a little bit of everything. Thanks guys.